Hey, I'm back. I went to Gen Con. This is my second year in a row. So last year was my first year. Last year I went there with no expectations. I didn't know what to expect. I had no clue what I was getting into. I didn't realize the entire town gets taken over by this one convention. So this year I went there with that knowledge. I even signed up for a couple of events. I had plans to meet friends up. I even met some of you guys at home, subscribers, and we had a blast playing games. So we're gonna do a little recap. I figure I'll start off showing the games I actually have played so far that I purchased. I bought 71 games. I didn't buy them all. Some of the games were given to me by the publishers, but a lot of them I did buy. So obviously we'll show you where that line is drawn. But overall, let's hop into it. So before we get to the games, I must say I kept seeing a cosplay of a character I've never seen. He's wearing white boxers with hearts all over him, sometimes bare feet, leather jacket. And I had to ask, what are you? And they're like, this guy, Mr. Dungeon Crawler Carl. I cannot say that 3 times fast. So I started asking, what is it about? And man, the things they said to me, I was like, this is one of those things, it's hard to explain. It's so out there. I was like, okay, I'm curious. I never read a book like this. I'm usually into these thriller action adventure. So to go into this more fantasy worlds, it's a first for me. And so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm only 30 pages in, so I just started reading it this morning. And it's been fun. I'm really curious to see where this goes. Have you guys read this? You guys heard of this? Down in the comments, let me know. Let me know what you think of Mr. Dungeon Crawler Carl. All right, back to the games. Let's go. Hey, I'm Ryan. Welcome to Board Game Journey, where you will join me to play 1,000 games. I'm really excited to kind of go through the top highlights for me from Gen Con first, and we'll get to the rest at the end. But the first game that really surprised me was Wingspan Pocket. So this was a big surprise to me. I'm someone who has never played any of the spans. I haven't played Wingspan, Warmspan, Finspan. I played none of those. This is my first introduction to this universe. And I was fortunate enough to be taught by the one and only Mr. Rodney Smith from Watch It Plays. I played with him and Adam from Rolling Solo, and it was a blast. I've never played any of these. And I think, funny enough, Adam has not either. So Rodney was showing us the way of the spans. I've been loving these games that are taking these bigger board games and putting them into this small package. I just did a video on Catan on the Road, which did similar. It took Catan and boiled it down to a nice interactive card game that kind of captures all the moments. Now, I haven't played Wingspan, so I don't have a fair comparison. So hopefully now, after playing this, I really do want to play it. It's one of those games where I just kind of missed my opportunity to play it and I just never went back to try it. But after trying this one, I'm really itching to find someone who has a copy that I can finally try, because this is a lot of fun. It's a nice engine building card game. The turn structures are very easy. You're either getting food or getting birds, and then you're putting birds into your a little engine. And after each turn, you kind of go through all the birds that you have sort of acquired, and you're constantly adding this engine. It feels, honestly, you kind of have that same excitement I play Gizmos, where you kind of start off small and the engine just starts bigger and bigger. But I guess you also could say it's probably like Wingspan. I just don't have that comparison yet. Next up is Evenglow. Super excited for this game. I remember first seeing it advertised and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. But I've already played it 3 times. I played it once with Rodney and Adam, and I played it actually at the airport. I was sitting there getting ready to leave for my flight on Sunday, and my flight got delayed. I had an hour and a half, 2 hours to kill, and someone saw me kind of just opening the box and just fiddling with something, and they're like, hey, you want to play? And I was like, yeah. So the two of us knocked out a whole game in 30 minutes pretty much. So anyways, if you don't know this game, there's one cool gimmick I just want to show you. So it's Evenglow. You're taking tiles and putting them on your board. I know if you heard this before, but the twist about this one is you're playing both sides. So you have both sides of these boards, and when you place a tile on one board, you have to put another tile in the mirror position on the other side. So if this is 20, you can see here, I have to put a tile on 20. The other tile is going 20. So later on, if I'm trying to connect these vines together, say I went to 19, let's just say it's like that. Well, now I have to go to 19 with my other tile. So you have to be careful which tiles you're choosing and where you're placing them. It feels very, free in the beginning because you can kind of place everywhere. There's no big adjacency rules. But as the game continues, because you will fill out this entire board, the decisions get a little bit more painful, a little bit more crunchy. But the game never feels overwhelming. I love games like this because it's I would say it's very family friendly, but so someone like me, it still has that level of gameplay that it just makes you want to come back and play more. So as you can tell, I'm a huge fan of Evenglow. I can't wait to show my family. I think they're really gonna dig it. I think this will be probably their new favorite game. So day one of the convention, I was waiting in line. I'll show me a video here, and you can see me speed running to get this next game, which is Night at the Zoo. In the months leading up to Gen Con, this is the game I was most excited about. I love the designer, Tomas Holick. I played Galileo all the time. T-Guard I played once, but I want to go back to it. I still never tried SETI, but one day. So Night at the Zoo, I just feel like this is going to be like slightly more family friendly, because the other games I really can't play with my immediate family, like my in-laws and stuff, which I do a lot of gaming with. So I feel like this one was the first one that maybe I could bring into that group. The game is super pretty, if you haven't seen it yet. Like the boards just have their right vibrance and kind of like, it looks nice on the table. And essentially it's another tile laying game, but just like, I mean, the way Tomas does it, the way you're drafting tiles from this board, and then essentially whatever doesn't get chosen, it falls to the bottom. And then that, whatever gets discarded the most also activates a power. So I was surprised by the thinkiness of this game, because even though it's light, it's still like to be optimal, like in terms of like optimal with how you move it, you do got to put some thought into it. Because some of it's straightforward. You put a tile here, it lets you move. You put a tile here, it lets you do this. So, but to do it well, like in a day, I'd lost. I think I got like last place. We played a 4-player game. It's kind of crazy. That's another thing about board game conventions. If I was just like, went to my family like, hey, let's open this game brand new and let's all learn it together. Yeah, that's never gonna happen. So it blew my mind that we sat down with a bunch of gamers and we're like, yeah, let's crack open this game and learn it right now. And we'll be patient and we're gonna help you out. And people just read the rules out loud and everyone's just like, yeah, okay, let's play. Yeah, that blows my mind. That never happens at home. So to live in that fantasy world just for a little bit was nice. Next up is a party style game called Dino Racer. I heard people describing it as like the card game version of Heart Streak. So, you know, I had to find out what it was all about. So the quick explanation is you are racing dinosaurs. Now this reminds me of a game I used to play with just a regular deck of cards called like Horse Race, where you just use a normal deck of cards with aces. I felt like they took that game and just sort of added more to it to make it more gamify it. Now in the real game, you would have more checkpoints. I think it's like 7 checkpoints for your first one, then 8, then 9. So the race gets progressively longer over the 3 rounds of play. The gameplay is uber simple. I just played this last night with my buddy. I'll show you like a 2-player game. So now this game reminded me of Hot Streak in the same sense. I feel like when I played Hot Streak round 1, the racers ago, people aren't quite into it. By like the end of the 2nd round, 3rd round, people get it and they're like cheering. Because that happened last night. By the last round, we had nicknames for all these. Like, come on, Bronto, come on, Bronte, come on, Rexy. We're like cheering on the dinosaurs. Because they do have an excited, way they move up. Regardless of player count, you always deal out the number of players plus 1 card. So if I'm playing a 2-player game, I'll deal out 3 cards. So the first card is Tri-Top. So Tri-Top will move up 1. And then they deal out 1 more, Raptor, and then the last one, Tri-Top. So every time a card comes up that matches that dinosaur, it will move up. Now this is where the bets come in, because now you draft from the dinosaurs here. So say I go for Tri-Top and they go for Raptor. Now if these end up getting 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place, you'll get the number of points that say on the card. But whatever card is not chosen, because no matter what, there's always 1 extra card, that dinosaur will also move up, which ended up being a lot of critical thinking in this game, because you're like, well, if I take that, then they'll move up. So there is a cool decision point to be made there. Now each round will look the same. You flip 3 cards, you draft, and you keep doing that until someone wins. But there's a little bit of a catch. You notice that there's checkpoints here. So as soon as all the dinosaurs reach 1 checkpoint, it could be more scattered out, right? It could be like that. So once this one breaks the plane, you would turn this card over. And this one says, discard a race card from the deck, and then Dino moves 2. So I would just look at 1, and now Bronto would win the race because of that checkpoint, right? But this could be a lot of different things. This could be like boost 1, go back 1. Sometimes I've seen like 1st place and 5th place switch places. So really, these are called checkpoints, but last night we called them chaos points because they do cause some chaos. The next game I was very excited to try because I kept hearing a little bit about it leading up to the convention, and it just seemed like a game I would really enjoy, and that is Kokeshi. It is definitely a bump and tracks kind of game, and the components are really nice. We'll show you this in a second. But I bought the app actually before I got to the convention. I played on the plane ride like 3 or 4 times, which was great because I was kind of learning how to play sort of before actually buying the game. So I bought it, and then that night I actually met up with one of you guys, one of the subscribers, Bill, from the channel, and I played with his 2 brothers, Joe and Nick, and I think Joe won, so that was sad. I thought I was gonna beat their butts, but I did not. I love meeting you guys. So if I'm ever at another convention, please say hi. That was awesome. I love it just for the clickety clack of the tiles alone. But this is a kind of a track building, moving kind of combo game. So the main gameplay takes place on your personal player board, where essentially you keep adding tiles to the board with some restriction rules, but for the most part, pretty free. And every time you move one of your characters up, it activates the tile, either maybe one or two powers or both. In this case, it activates this power, which I get to move one on the animal board. This is another board I won't bother showing you. But then this also triggers this character to move up, which then that activates the animal board again, and plus this character to move up. So it's one of those games where if you build it right, you'll take one move and then they all chain reaction together. So it's just a very satisfying game to play on the board. And it's fun. I mean, I don't think I'll ever play again at 4 players, but at 2 or 3, I think this game will definitely shine. Next up is the party game I was really excited to try. I love Gamehead games. Last year I bought Trinket Trove and No Loose Ends, and those are fantastic games. This year I bought all their new games. They have 5 new ones out, bought them all. This is the one party game I bought. I bought a few party games this year, but this is one of the few ones I bought. But this one just seemed interesting because it seemed very like approachable game for people of all ages. Essentially, everyone gets one of these strings, and you'll read the card, and it'll say something like, I don't know, iPhone or chicken or whatever. It'll give you some kind of weird object, and you have to then measure it in secret how large you think that object is. Then everyone then takes their rings, you kind of like in secret, puts them on here, and then you raise them up. I'll just show you an example. So you raise it up so you see everyone's rope, and in this case, you eliminate whoever's the shortest and longest. So everyone's, depending on the player count, starts with so many health points. So in this case, the red and the yellow would lose a health point. Once someone loses all their little chips, then whoever has the most at that point wins. Dead simple game. I mean, it's just one of those games where I'll picture here. I actually played with Michael, one of the other subscribers of the channel. Great meeting you. Great guy. And we also hung out with Rodney and Adam that night. It was fun. We had a great time. We played another game, which I didn't buy, which I'll get to right now. We played Rosetta from DVC Games. I love DVC Games. They have Here Lies, they make that game, plus some other games I really enjoy. I'll get to one in my next video where it's called Playthings. Super cool. Can't wait to try to play it. But with Rosetta, it's like this kind of Here Lies approach to a game where you are trying to communicate a simple term in your language, and you're only using symbols. So you're trying to as the players, you're trying to decode this language, and literally it's just symbols. You're looking at some cave drawings from back in the day, and you're trying to figure out what language and what they're trying to this is their word for up, this is their word for farmer, this is their word for town. So throughout the game, you slowly piece together what the language of the person who's leading the game, and then you try to figure out what their secret word is. So the next game, I actually first got a chance to play it at the airport. Not my copy. And by the way, this was actually given to me by AEG. Thanks, Risa. Appreciate the hookup. I was really excited to try it, but I was at the airport, but like I said, my plane was delayed, and it's all 2 guys playing this game. I was like, oh, how is it? I really want to try this game. So they asked, you know what, we'll just hop in. So they redealt the game. We played a 3-player game of it. It was fun. They kind of described it as a love letter style game. But it was nice. It's a nice, approachable, I love small card games, especially small box ones. And it was just fun. It's sort of like one of those games where each turn you have to play cards face down, and then from everyone's face down cards, you draft. And you either take one of the cards that are face up, or you go first next time, right? And when you go first next time, you also get a card from the top of the deck. So, and then you're constantly mixing in new cards from the top of the deck, plus getting rid of cards. But ultimately, you're trying to collect different sets in your hand. Once you reach, I think it's 7 cards, I think, it ends the game. But what was fun, because you might get a card that says if you can get cards with this symbol on it, you'll get these points. Or you can collect three of these things, you get so many points. So super simple game. Definitely a game I want to play more, because I think it's just I love these approachable card games. So I look forward to playing this a little bit more. Next up is a game I bought for my mother-in-law. I saw it on the table and I said, yeah, she's gonna love this game. And we already played it. It's actually probably the first game I showed her. If you haven't seen Panorama, so this is one of those games where it's so simple. You're essentially just trying to line up these tiles in a way that scores you the most points. So it's like, for instance, if I was going to the longest river, I could line it up this way. But you can see maybe I didn't connect my reds properly. So maybe if this was here instead, then okay, that's probably better. You can only put tiles to the left or right, so you have to kind of plan ahead. And you're drafting from quite a few things, but it has nice patchwork type system where whoever is the furthest back can keep going. So you can technically go as far forward as you want, But if you leave a bunch of tiles for people, they can just slowly pick up a lot of tiles. So there's always this tension of like, how far do you go ahead, because you might be leaving a lot of tiles behind for people to get. But ultimately, each game, there's like 3 goals, and maybe as long as river or most clouds or least clouds. So those are like, public objectives that you're trying to be the first one to get it, because only one person can get it. And then the other part is you score each land based on animals and flowers. So for instance, if I was to score this red section, I have 1 animal, 3 flowers. That would just give me 3 times 1. That'd be 3 points. But if I had 2 animals and then 3 flowers, I would get 6 points. So you're also trying to do that. That is for across all the lands. So the more you can get the flowers and animals in the appropriate lands, you get points there too. Dead simple game, really pretty, really relaxing to play. I knew my mother-in-law would love it, which she did. We played it, and she goes, "I love this game, Ryan." I go, "I know, that's why I bought it." I had a feeling. And yeah, so far, it's a good one. Next up is the game I keep hearing people talk about. I played the original Zool, but I never played Summer Pavilion. So I played my friend's copy, the big version. So when I was at the market looking around the different games, I saw the travel version, which is nice because I bought the travel version of regular Zool. I think I'm gonna get rid of my big one because it comes with like the plastic boards that hold onto the pieces, and it just makes the game an easier game to get into. And honestly, everyone kept saying Summer Pavilion was their preferred Zool, and I have to agree. I mean, I couldn't judge it until I played it, but now that I've played Summer Pavilion for the first time, I can see it. It's just, I can't wait to show this to my family because I can just tell it would be such an easier game than Base Azul. Base Azul, I know it's not complicated, but believe it or not, that scoring part of how you move tiles over and how they score, I hate teaching that game now because I taught it so many times and they always struggle with it. So I end up having to score everyone's board to the point where I just don't want to play that game ever again. But this one, super simple. I know I can explain this scoring, no problem at all. So I feel like if I'm going to introduce a game to somebody, it's probably going to be this one and not Base Azul. So yeah, I said it. And since we're talking about Azul, I couldn't resist getting Azul Kids. I've been getting my daughter into games more. I've always showed this game. We had a good time playing. I think we definitely got to play more, of course. It takes her a couple of times to get into a game. She'll play it the first time and then she'll ask for it, and that's when I know she's hooked. So I definitely got to play this again. But this one is essentially Azul-like. You have a central, I'll just show you, I guess. Your nice chunky tiles, and you'll put them in the thing like normal Azul here. You fill them all, I think 5 or so. So then, you pick up one color, the rest go into the middle. And now you try to fill up your board. So I would put the yellows on the yellows. And the first person to fill up their board wins. And this is like the easy version. The backside is like the quote unquote hard version because you have to focus on individual pieces. And there's no penalty in this game. In this game, instead of like losing negative points for having too many pieces, if you have any overflow, it just goes to the people to your left. And then it keeps going around until it gets back to you. So it's nice because like there's a little bit of strategy. Obviously, you don't want to pick up too many because you're giving away to somebody else. But it doesn't like directly penalize the kid and make them feel bad. So yeah, anyway, I think this would be a good one. I really look forward to trying it to see if it's a keeper. I mean, right now, it feels great, but you never know until you play a bunch more plays. I also played Raindrops from DV Games. They were kind enough to gift me with this copy. I saw it on the table and I started just talking with Natalie, who was showing me the game, and I was like, man, this is so cool. It kind of gives you that Potion Explosion vibes with a very different kind of look. I'll have to show you what I mean, because you gotta have to see it. It comes with this board, so you kind of get this like lift mechanic where tiles will be sliding. There's a lot going on because you draft the tiles to the cards. So in this case, a purple, green, right? And then once you fill the card out, you also get the points for the cards. Plus you get a symbol. In this case, it's a cat, which just means points, but you might get something like this candle. And it has these cloud tokens. Now the first person to say you get 3 candles gets the top token, which gives you the most points. So there's like a lot of set collecting. You're collecting these to put them on your card, and then you're also set collecting your cards to get these extra bonus tiles. So I love how everything kind of integrates and you feel like this nice seamless transition between, getting points. I judged this game a little too soon because I thought the puzzle would be super simple to solve. Now, it's easy to go all the way to the bottom because you get to the bottom, you get the lightning bolt. They call it thunder tokens for some reason, but I don't know. It's a lightning bolt to me. So we're going to lightning bolt. Now, I realized quickly, just because I can get to the bottom doesn't mean I should get to the bottom because you're trying to fill out your cards. So if we played last night and twice I get to the bottom and I even got down where I got double bolts, right? But I can only use one tile because I didn't get anything I actually needed. So I had to like train my brain, Ryan, just because you can get to the bottom doesn't mean you should get to the bottom. To show you what it looks like, I'll give you a quick example. So we'll just say I did purple. So I'll go purple, 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 purple. So I can do all those. So I would start here. This purple is adjacent to this one. That one's adjacent to this one. This one's adjacent to this one, to this one, to that one, to that one. So I took all those tiles. Now, obviously, hopefully these match here. Like the orange is like a wild, so it could be orange or purple. So I could do like orange there, I could do, and so on and so forth. You fill the cards out. And now you just lift the board, everything falls, and then you fill it in for the next player. So where it gets really puzzly is before you take your turn, you can manipulate the tiles. You either can like rotate one like in for in, you can swap two adjacent tiles, or you can take any tile and bring it to the top. So you can do one of those actions, but you see just that one change can change a lot of the cascading in terms of how you pick up tiles. Okay, 3 more games I actually played, and then the next video I'll just show you all the other games I got. I got Friendly Fishing. This is another one I was really excited about because I like these like small tension type games. So with Friendly Fishing, you would take these tiles and fill the whole board. And on your turn, you could just move the boat one space, and then you collect that fish, and then the next person goes, and they can only collect fish that they can get to in one move, right? That's a tile. Seems pretty simple, but where it gets a little bit feisty is obviously if I know this person's going for yellow fish, maybe I want to go a different direction. So that way they can't get to the yellow, and then they have to go this way, and then I get the yellow fish from them. So it's a constant cat and mouse game of trying to position yourself so that way the number of moves work out. Because there's a number of times where I'm like, okay, I go here, and now it's set. Because we have to always go to a tile if we can. You can't not pick a tile up. So you can do the math and be like, okay, well, it's 5 moves away, so therefore I'm gonna get this if I go here. So it's a fun little like kind of like abstract-y but very lightweight puzzle to solve. And they also toss in special fish that like have certain rules that like give you other kind of like powers. Like there's one fish that you can only get if you have to travel across empty space. So you know if you get next to it, they can't just take it. So there's ways to position yourself to go get it. It's just fun. I only played at 2 players. You can tell it's a game that's designed for more. But honestly, at 2 players, it was fun. I enjoyed it. At 3 players, or 4 or 5, I think, the scoring is interesting, which I really want to try. Because right now, I get my score for the different ways I set collect. But in like a more player game, more than 2, then I take my score plus the score to the person on my left. And then that person takes the score plus their score plus the person on their left. So everyone's always sharing with a partner. So it's like, I want this person to do well, but I don't want anyone else to do well. So how can I now position this to help them score well, but not so good that it's helping their partner? So that's interesting. I have no clue how that's going to work. Right now, just 2-player, I really enjoy it. So it's a game I'll definitely keep just for that. But if that works really well, which we'll see, and I'll tell you about it on another video. Next up is Surplus of Sloths. Now, in my early plays of this, I can't help but compare it to maybe like Soda Jerk. I get those kind of like vibes, because in this game you're trying to collect the best run of cards, but you don't want to get too good of a hand, because every time you take a card and add your hand, you're potentially missing out adding that card to the score pile. Because at the end of the game, like, you're all picking cards, and one card will always fall down to a score pile. And depending on how many players, is how many different suits you have. So at the end of the game, once all the cards you go, okay, green cards, I have a run of 4. Okay, you have a run of 3, you have a run of 2. I win at the biggest run or the highest run, and I would get all the green cards left over. But if we all took a lot of green cards, then the pile isn't very big. Like last night we played this game with my buddy, and I was able to work it out where, you know, I was at the gray pile. I just had a bunch of wild cards and multipliers in there. So I ended up just winning the game. Even though I just won the 1 pile, he won the other 2. It's just, you know, the math worked out in my advantage. So Weird Draft Games gave me this game, which was great. Thank you guys very much. You guys are awesome. I bought their game, Logic and Lore, last year, which is another killer game, which I haven't talked about on the channel yet, but it's another great kind of deduction game. If you guys haven't tried it, go check it out. But I love these style card games. I can't wait to play it more. And then once I figure out kind of where it lands, I'll let you guys more about it. But right now, I feel like it's probably going to replace Soda Jerk for me, because it's only so many of these style games I need to have, and I feel like this one's just doing it better. And next up is a sequel of the classic game Cascadia, and this is Cascadia Alpine Lakes. And once again, thank you very much for AAG and Flat Out Games for gifting me this game. You guys are awesome. Risa, looking at you, thank you very much. So I played this last night, finally. I couldn't play it at the con, but I played it at home last night with my buddy. I was super excited, because I love Cascadia. It's one of those games where I have probably purchased, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 games of Cascadia and given away to friends. Because when people realize I love games and I want to share it with them, I typically get them Cascadia because it's just a different game. Like, you know, Most people are used to boards, you know, for board games, having a board, like Monopoly and that kind of stuff. So when they realize that they're kind of making this tableau, making this board, and going after these goals, it has a good hit ratio. So you imagine I was very excited to try the sequel. And for those who don't know what makes Cascadia Upon Lakes different, is it sort of took Cascadia and Acropolis and combined them into like one game. So you get tiles like this, which you've probably seen in Acropolis. So you can build out, but you also can build up. And depending on what goals you're playing with, it will reward you so many points for how high you're going or how you surround things. Or yeah, like I would say the base game, the height isn't a huge factor. Like you obviously score for the lakes and how high animals are, like you get bonus points. But most of the game you can play pretty flat. I think if you use different scorecards, then the levels really come into play more so. I've heard this described as a Think You're Cascadia. I personally, at least in the base game, didn't find it to be that way. Now I know there's advanced cards you can add. Of course, if you have, you know, double the amount of ways to score, of course you're thinking about it a little bit more. But the base game, I would say, is pretty relaxing. I wasn't like, oh my God, what do I do? I felt like usually I kind of knew the vision, I knew what I was going for. It really just came down to just like regular Cascadia, getting the right combos. Or if you can't get the right combos, getting acorns so you can take the right combos. So I'm really excited to show my mother-in-law this. She is a big Cascadia fan. She's probably played Cascadia 80, 90 times, no exaggeration. She loves Cascadia. So I told her about this and she was like, what? There's another one? So I'm definitely pumped to show her. Probably this weekend they were getting together, so we'll probably show her this game. I think she's gonna really enjoy it. Okay, that wraps up part one. I figured I'd start with all the games that I have played so far. And then in part two, the next video, I'll go ahead and show you all the games that I got. So curiosity, out of these games, which ones definitely caught your attention? Like, are any games here you're like, oh man, I wanna know more about that, Ryan? Or you wanna see a more in-depth review or some other stuff? Let me know down in the comments what you're thinking. Also, while you're down there, go ahead and like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. What's going on into the video crew? I'm really debating. I have all these games right here. I'm trying to think what games I'm gonna play this weekend. I want to show my mother-in-law some of these games. We already played Panorama, but I don't know. Do I try Wingspan Pocket? I don't know. This one I feel like it's gonna be maybe a tad too complicated for her, but maybe not. Maybe not. Be the ultimate test. I might just give it a try. So I feel like this one I really want to get playing with the family. So you know what? Wingspan Pocket. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it first. Then definitely Even Glow. Even Glow. Definitely on the list. I think those two are the go-to first games to try. Secret code? I don't know. I think the secret code, maybe we just do like a hashtag and we put like end of video crew, but just put the letters, just capital letters. Like E, blah, 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 C, right? Just put the letters. That way I know. We know what's going on.